Thank you so much, Andrew Chamagan. Good morning to you and good morning to all the viewers of AT NTV this morning. Stephen Mbide coming to you straight from Bugorobi. Yes, indeed, as you've said, at the home of Honorable Henry Okello Luwum, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in charge of international relations. This being a public holiday in memory, in celebration of a great nationalist, the late Archbishop Janan Jakaria Luwum. This is a public holiday in remembrance of his life and whatever he did for this nation and the world at large, not only in Uganda, but of course across the world. This is an important day for Honorable and his family. But let's first of all speak to you on this matter of celebrating Luwum. This is a big day in your life as a family, but also as a government. How do you as a family remember him? Because the things that led to his martyrdom even led you to flee the country.
Yes, that is true. That is true. As we celebrate the life of the late Bishop Janan Luwum, and I'd like first of all to thank His Excellency President Museveni for allowing the 16th of February of every year in Uganda to be a national holiday in order for the celebrations to take place. Today there will be huge celebrations in Muchwini sub-county, which is Kingdom District, and where the home of the late Archbishop was. He is buried in his local church, and the service celebrations will take place right in the vicinity of that church and in the football field that's next to that church. There will also be celebrations here at Kololo. The official celebration will be at Kololo, which will be officiated by His Excellency President Museveni, and we hope that it will be held under what is now commonly known as the procedures under COVID-19. So there will be a limited number of visitors, but the celebration will be there.
And for your family, because this...
And for our family, of course, we will celebrate. We have been praying at home for the country. We've been praying for the life of Janan Luwum. We have been praying for the life of his family that remained. He was an outstanding man. I think that God put him for a purpose, to remind us of the bad side of human beings.
That bad side of human beings, you praying here as a family, I've seen you praying indeed with the family here, but one would say that you should even have prayed for the things that many, especially those in opposition, are saying that they are reoccurring. He was a man who stood and spoke against the killings, the abductions, the corruption, but many are saying the same things are happening under the same regime, the new regime that is part of.
Of course, whenever we pray with my family here, today is of course a special prayer, but normally we pray for the leadership of this country, as the president, we pray for our family, and we pray for Uganda.
That's granted, but they're saying, many are saying that these are things that are still happening, even with prayer alone, but still, there's a lot that needs to be done.
Let me tell you, that's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish.
You call it rubbish?
Yes, I call it absolutely rubbish. You cannot, under any circumstances, compare what was happening during Idi Amin with what is happening today. To what is happening today, of course, I condemn torture, abuse of human rights in all its sense and intentions. But to compare that period with today's period,
you know, the comparison
is a joke.
The comparison is just as a result of saying that this is a steady movement, that the things that are happening, maybe they are on the same course, heading towards that side.
Absolutely not. And it will not happen in that way. Those who are responsible for torture in this country should be held individually liable, and they should be brought before the court of law. They should be judged, and if found guilty, put in prison, and the key thrown away. What is happening now, as compared to what was happening then, is different. Let me tell you the difference. The difference is that the abuse of human rights, the killing, extrajudicial killing that taken at that time, were state-inspired. It was planned by the state, condoned by the head of state, and executed by the army. But what is happening now, individual acts by rogue security officers who should take responsibility for breaking what is the professional standards that are set by the army.
You know,
what is happening here is individuals,
okay,
not the states.
It's the state, it's the individuals, not the state, but justice has to be seen. Not only that it shouldn't be done, but should also be seen to be done. And they are saying that maybe these are happening under the watch of those who are supposed to be condemning and even acting upon them.
Of course. The president has made it very clear, is on record, for condemning, abuse of human beings, abuse of human rights, the tortures that took place. He's even condemned those security officers who perpetrate violence against individual Ugandans. It's on record. I am on record, and I continue being on record, that I condemn and in no uncertain terms anybody Ugandan who takes it upon himself, any security officer who takes it upon himself to violate the rights of another Ugandan, to torture another Ugandan, to mistreat another Ugandan. I condemn that person in no uncertain terms, irrespective of the position of that person.
Okay, you as a minister in charge of international relations, you should be, I guess, you should be finding a hard time explaining to the international community when you see people, Ugandans, fleeing their own country, in the likes of Kakwenza and Kirabashaiza. When you meet the international community...
There was no reason for him to flee this country. There is absolutely no reason for him. This is just drama. You see, there is no reason because he should have waited and go to the court. Let the cause of the judiciary takes its course. We have seen this situation. The other time, Besigye took off. You remember? The Besigye took off. It's like they want to kill him. They want to finish him. Of course, the Besigye was mistreated.
South Africa.
Yes, he was mistreated. But if he fled, claiming they were about to kill him. But he came back to the country. And has he been killed? He's here. The other time during soon after elections, the other what's her name, took off also to Kenya. This other Stella Nyanzi took off also, claiming the same the same case. But no sooner has she run to Kenya, she's back. I wish my brother had waited for his day in court and would have stood before the court of law. Listen, and told Ugandans that, dear Ugandans, when I was arrested and been put in incarceration, this is what happened. This is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. Now, he said, this is what happened to me, and there is need for those who are responsible to be brought before the court. And you will see, this matter was discussed in cabinet on Monday in detail by the whole cabinet of Uganda. It was condemned by the cabinet of Uganda, the issue of torture. It was condemned by the cabinet on Monday. Okay. And you will see actions being taken against those who said to have been the perpetrators of this crime against my dear brother who fled.
Granted, Honorable, are you, as a resident of Bugolobi here, if you went to Bugolobi flats and then picked anything without permission of the owner, you'll be an embarrassment to the community of Bugolobi.
Of course.
And this, I'm just using this as to build a scenario for Uganda heading to Congo, and the International Court of Justice says Uganda has to pay compensation, has to compensate for the torture, for the abduction, for the rape, and the loss of property, and that as a result of going there in 1998 to 2003.
You know, this judgment is very interesting and very unfortunate. Uganda voluntarily signed on to be parties to the ICJ court of jurisdiction. We submitted ourselves in 1963, we submitted ourselves to the jurisdiction of this court. Many countries, you look at Google, many countries, including some international big countries, chose not to be subjected to this ICJ, including some of those countries who are in the DRC. So Uganda is a country that respects the rule of law. That's why we were there in the first place. If we had chosen not to be subscribed to the ICJ, the ICJ would have had no jurisdiction to judge this case.
You know, if you accept to play in a tournament, abide by the rules. Now the rules are saying...
Exactly. Now, what the judgment that came out was a very unfortunate judgment, because the judgment should have taken into consideration that, and made it very clear in the judgment that even though this judgment is being reached in such a form, in this. But however, there were some other players in the field who also committed the same crime or acted in this unfortunate situation. It did not take that into consideration. It seems to have heaped everything on top of what? Of Uganda. Just because Uganda is the only one who agreed and subjected itself to the ICJ court. So the judgment is misplaced in the sense that it heaps everything on Uganda. I wish it had parceled out that whereas the other players in the field, including Uganda, Uganda's responsibility is just this one. However, those other players carry the weight, because they're not before us, but they carry the weight and the responsibility for these other crimes.
You know, Honorable, you as a player, you agreed to the treaty, but now, 2019, meetings sit between Kampala and elsewhere about trying to go to DRC, Eastern DRC, to to construct the roads there. Now, 2022, 2021, and end of 2021, you moved to Eastern DRC Congo to construct these roads with those services and Congo. Was this also part of the plan to make sure that, yes, you know something's coming, but let's try to
No.
the brotherly relationship?
No, you got it wrong. You know, some of these matters are more complex than they look. There is one thing in this country, and I wish you people could appreciate this thing in this country. There's one individual who in this country who is consistent in his principles, persistently consistent in his principles, and that is His Excellency President Museveni. President Museveni has made it very clear consistently since his youth days the need for the expansion of Eastern community is made very clear. This is something he's told. He has told that the need for what? The unification of Africa. He's talking about the Pan-Africanism of Africa. This is part of it. This is part of the process and the vision that President Museveni has always talked about. You see? So, in him offering to build this road, he had no concern whatsoever about the ICJ. Because we would similarly say, now that we have this judgment, we can pull out the road. We could say that. But that's not important. What is important is the need for us to continue Pan-Africanism, we could put in the unification of Africa, the strengthening of Eastern community, and so forth, and open markets and roads for our people to increase prosperity and movement of people in the region. That's what's important to us.
One would say that maybe the meetings that we've seen between President Museveni and his counterpart from DRC, President Felix Tshisekedi, over the weekend and other past weeks, maybe this was also part of the plan to soften the heart between the relationship between Kampala and Kinshasa, but also to make sure, as we drive peace in the region, maybe also soften.
The relationship between Uganda and Kinshasa is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. In diplomatic terms, we could say cordial, and I can add even it is very strategic. It is of such importance That's why President Tshisekedi accepted that the UPDF can operate and go into the DRC and work jointly with the armed forces to flush out and eliminate and deal with the ADF once and for all. That is the confidence in which Tshisekedi had in the UPDF, that this is a very professional army. It knows what it can do, is good in its job, and he knew that they will come here and they will not steal whatever you people claim to be stealing, and that's why they're there. If he had a doubt and he thought that these people are a bunch of looters and thieves, he would not have accepted the UPDF to go into the DRC. But he accepted. They are joined, they are welcomed with warm hands. The Wananchi in the DRC, Eastern DRC, are so happy, and that at last they can sleep in their homes. At last they can see a future. At last there's peace coming to the Eastern DRC.
All right. Still part of the talks within the region. Finally, as we end this conversation, over the last week, you had a meeting with the President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. At the time, we've seen many meetings, regional meetings between President Museveni sending an envoy to Rwanda. There are a lot of talks within the region, but still we see unharmony within the region. Between Kenya and Uganda, we've seen the farmers, the traders crying over direct export, poultry and the like. When you move to Gatuna border, you still see that there is a lot of cargo moving other than the passengers. The buses are not even allowed up to now. When you have these meetings, what is wrong within the region that is still keeping us with these fights, even after signing the protocols like the common market?
First of all, there is no disharmony. First of all, there are no fights. These are regular things that happen in any region within a context of which we talk. You see, me being the Minister of International Relations, I see in a very big context. And I study and examine what's happening in other regions. For example, in the European Union, if you think that what is happening in Israel community are fights and disharmony, what do you think is happening in the European Union now? It's worse than what's happening in these areas. These are problems that emanate because they're talking about 3 or 4 different countries. 3 or 4 different countries with different political aspirations, different political systems, and some slight difference in their culture. So you would not expect a smooth ride in trade, in movement of people, and so on and so forth in this region without some hiccups and without humps and bumps. These are small things which we overcome easily. At our level, we are satisfied with our relations with Rwanda, we are satisfied with our relations with Kenya and other countries in this region, and these issues of the milk, sugar, dairy products are things we will overcome.
Even as Kenya goes to the elections in August?
There is no doubt. I had a very nice and fantastic meeting with President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the assurance that is given me has given confidence to this government that we will soon move forward on these matters.
Thank you so much, Honorable Henry Luwum. I hope you even had a wonderful Valentine's Day. Every time I come here, I see a lovely couple between you and the wife here, and of course, a lovely family here. Thank you, and of course, pass on the message that I appreciate the coffee. I always enjoy it from here.
Thank you. This is the home of NTV, and I welcome all the people who are watching. Welcome to my home. This is a home for everybody.
Thank you so much. Stephen Mbide on Pepper Switch, handing you back to Andrew Chamagero in the studios. Thank you so much.